At this moment, we are celebrating the buck moon, which is said to be a Capricorn moon, although it is in the constellation of Sagittarius. Blessed love, royal family, glorify Haile Selassie I. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. How many of you have seen the picture of Emperor Haile Selassie I in the moon? We will be getting to all of that. This is one of the programs in the series of programs for the fundraising campaign for the mission to Ethiopia. Attention, everyone. The Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge is inviting you to join us in September for the African Union CARICOM Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Sign up for the 3-day package and be a part of the AU CARICOM Summit. Plus, take in all of the sights of Addis Ababa, the new flower. Or you can opt for our 9-day cultural national tour, and that will engulf sites like Lalibela, Aksum, the Simeon Mountains, and much more. Transportation, accommodation, and your meals all included. So contact us now and reserve your spot. Email us priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com or visit our website priestisaacinstitute.com. Ethiopia. See you there. And yes, once again, we do say Salamton, blessed love and joy. And obviously, it is on. So those of you who are definitely going to be with us for the African Union CARICOM Tour Summit, and of course, the national tour in Ethiopia and much more, you definitely need to contact us now. Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. And those of you who are still not sure of the mission to Ethiopia and what it is all about, I am inviting you to give us a contact via the same email and of course get your copy of the mission. Again, royal family, the mission to Ethiopia is a diplomatic/business mission. And of course, we are highlighting our culture as Rastafari. We are highlighting our business as creation content creators. And I'm talking not only on social media, we are highlighting the ambassador's pen and we are highlighting the magazine Kidemi. Remember, royal family, you as well can play a part in this mission to Ethiopia, but it is very important that you comprehend, understand the mission first and foremost. I am inviting each and everyone to advertise with us in the upcoming ambassador's pen and of course the upcoming magazine Kidemi. Very important. Those of you who have not partaken of the ambassador's pen, well, I'm talking about our recently released ambassador's pen for the 1st of July is highlighting the Benin bronze artifacts, highlighting the return of the Benin bronze artifacts. You can get a beautiful full-page ad in the ambassador's pen. You can get a beautiful half-page ad in the ambassador's pen. You can get a column in the ambassador's pen as well. And keeping in mind, the ambassador's pen is a monthly magazine directly highlighting geopolitics, a bit of culture and the history as well. But of course, remember the granddaddy. Let us just be clear about this, is the magazine Kidemi. Now, Kidemi comes out twice per year, and Kidemi for sure highlights everything. I'm talking about the icon. I'm talking about international culture, geopolitics as well, mystics, history, astronomy. Yes, I'm talking about lifestyles and everything in between. It's the magazine Kidemi and the upcoming edition of Kidemi, which is just in a month's time. This will be the specific magazine that we will be highlighting on our mission to Ethiopia. So, again, all of this is a part of the fundraiser campaign, and we are reaching out to those of you who comprehend the mission. And this is why understanding the mission is so important. You don't deal with things you don't understand. You see what I'm saying? And again, this is something our brainchild. This is not something that has been there for anyone to just grab and use. So maybe ones have never even, thought of the questions that we are answering. You think the answer is something. Just the question, we never even thought of that question. So we're bringing the answer for questions or the answers for questions that have never even been thought of. That's the point I'm making. So it's innovative. It's something new. Brethrens and sisters just rising up and saying, we're going to Africa, we're going to Ethiopia, we want to be a part of the African Union CARICOM summit. We have approached the government of the nation that we live in as a diplomatic representative of Rastafari, looking to organize and assist us even on this mission. The organization and the assistance has not come forth as yet, at least not at the time of the recording of this. This is very important, and this is why we are encouraging again, royal family, those of you who really want to comprehend the mission, don't be afraid to contact us, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com, and of course, get your copy of what is known as the proposal highlighting the mission to Ethiopia. Okay, very important. And those of you who don't need to see no proposal because you already understand what's going on and the depths thereof, all the better. As I said, you can contribute in many different ways, or I should say, you can add to the mission, not necessarily contribute, add to the mission, because this is reciprocal here. So of course, as I said, we have some beautiful spots where your ads can be highlighted. You also can be a part of the mission itself. As I said, you can be a part of the experience by joining us also in Ethiopia. And then you have the different levels of sponsorship that you can choose from. And this is not sponsor like you're giving some money, Again, this is business. So you're getting the products and the services for whatever sponsorship plan that you take. Of course, I'm just considering that you would have a business. And remember, we have a budget of $118,000 as far as the mission, the diplomatic slash business mission. So the full sponsorship and the platinum sponsorship and the diamond sponsorship and the gold sponsorship and the silver sponsorship, it is all designed in a way that everyone that takes whatever package they get in return the services that match that. So in other words, most of the sponsorships we will literally create a digital catalog for you. So let's just say you have a restaurant. Let's just say you have a jewelry store and you are contributing or you are adding to the mission. Let's say you're saying, I'm going to take a gold sponsorship of $26,000. We're going to create for you a magazine, first and foremost. A magazine, that's for the gold sponsorship, the diamond sponsorship, the platinum sponsorship, the full sponsorship. They all get a digital catalog. That means you get a literal online magazine like what you see us display. You understand? That's just one aspect of it. Different levels of sponsorships will get business cards, brochures. In fact, the whole realms of the sponsorships get that. We will display them when we go on tour and lectures and seminars and webinars, which obviously we will be doing. You understand? Those who take the full sponsorship will literally get a spreadsheet in every edition of both magazines for 2 years, and on and on and on it goes. The different levels of sponsorships has the different services that we offer, but it is for those who are serious. I've read this several times. I'm not going to read it now. Again, we have reached to the point where those who are serious would have already understood the mission, already decided what they're doing, or okay, I'm a little behind. I'm going to get the proposal. You don't have to read it all for me, Uncle Priest. I will get the proposal myself and go through it with the family because we know this is righteousness of salvation and this ain't no kiddie club. That's from my heart. I'm speaking there. And then, of course, there is the simple level. Hmm? You can just simply donate. For those of you who say, well, I'm not going to be there, I'm not coming to Ethiopia, I got something to do. Okay, fair enough. Well, I don't have no business. I don't need to put nothing in no magazine. It is all up to you. And what's the other option? We have other options there. Oh, well, I'm not no big businessman. I don't think I can take a sponsorship. All right, fair enough, but you can donate. You can add to the mission, whether it's 5,000, whether it's $50. Each and every one can add to the mission. And of course, we have the different aspects of, the connection from the Cash App and the Zelle and the PayPal. Of course, you can contact us, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. In fact, that's the handle for most of these avenues that you would use. Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. Beautiful. And I really appreciate, love that. And what I also appreciate, love, I was with the Lion Pride the other evening. How many of you saw that program? We were in the Lion's Den, Lion Voice Network with the King Dideshamai, Kwasi Bantu, and we had a beautiful, beautiful expression and exchange. We went into a lot of things astronomical and astrological, and it was really upful at a bit of some of which I will be even touching in a moment. But it was a beautiful exchange, and we give thanks for the royal brother and give thanks for his network and the work that he is putting out. And we are also extremely appreciative that he would have even taken the time to reach out to us as well. We were speaking highly about the whole aspect of the zodiac and the time frame. And that is something that is important, even as we are speaking of the current full moon. As you know, it is what they refer to as a buck moon, and the buck represents the deer, the male deer. I think this is the time that the deer, after shedding its antlers, would begin to grow them back, something of the sort. So it's the buck moon, and it is considered to be a Capricorn moon. Quite interesting, as Capricorn would represent to most people the goat. And what is interesting, though, to those of us who are ancient astronomers, is that the moon is not in Capricorn. The moon is really in Sagittarius. And as I've explained over and over again, I'm not taking away even the energy because the moon is much swifter than the sun, and the moon is actually on its way to Capricorn. In fact, at the time of the doing of this video, the moon would be really taking in some strong Capricorn energy. But again, at 4:37 on the 10th of July, when the moon was officially registered as being full, it was strongly in Sagittarius because remember, the time is moving. So if you're giving us a central, a Pisces age astrological reading when we are going into the Aquarius age, it's going to be a bit off. And that's just, we're not making no big fuss about it. That's just the reality. And I will show you that in a moment. And I am going to show to everyone that the man in the moon Yes, the man in the moon. We've always heard about the man in the moon. I know many of you know this, but without a doubt, all artists can come forward. The man in the moon is Emperor Haile Selassie I. Attention, everyone. The Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge is inviting you to join us in September for the African Union CARICOM Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Sign up for the 3-day package and be a part of the AU CARICOM Summit. Plus, take in all of the sights of Addis Ababa, the new flower. Or you can opt for our 9-day cultural national tour, and that will engulf sites like Lalibela, Aksum, the Simeon Mountains, and much more. Transportation, accommodation, and your meals all included. So contact us now and reserve your spot. Email us priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com or visit our website priestisaacinstitute.com. Ethiopia. See you there. Oh, yes, beautiful royal family. Definitely looking forward to your presence there with us. Now, before I actually go into the position of the current full moon, the buck moon of the 10th of July, let us just highlight again the man in the moon situation here. And in reality, I think we all grew up hearing about this man in the moon. In fact, on one of those programs, Welcome to Pooh Corner, they had a song that was, they used to sing, The Man in the Moon is a tiger. Well, maybe it's a tiger too. But the thing is, let me be clear here, the moon is a very mystic thing. You see, when the Bible says that the heavens declare the glory of God, it is not a joke. And the firmament show it his handiwork. It is nothing to scoff at. It goes on to say, day unto day, uttereth speech. You hear anything? Night unto night, show it knowledge, not show it beauty. Twinkle, twinkle, little, that one is blue, red, and green. No, it is showing knowledge. And those who understand again the science. That is why we promote ancient astronomy, even above astrology and even above astronomy. Ancient astronomy is the deepest of the heavenly celestial science. That is how the heavens declare the glory. When you understand the mathematics, when you understand the right ascension, when you understand the declination, when you understand the coordinates, which is the celestial latitude and longitude, when you understand the quasars, when you understand the galaxies and the supernovae and all of these different things, and then even the makeup of the planet. That's why you get into some heavy astronomy, bioastronomy, and astrobiology, I should say, and radio astrology, astronomy. You see, so all of that is the heavens declare the glory, not just the sky is beautiful. It's a deep science. And then now, the theology that comes with it is embedded in the science. It's more than just, well, the sun rises in the morning and sets and go under the earth. And that is symbolic of Christ rising, dying, and resurrection and reincarnation. That is true. I agree. But that's preschool. We've been there for a long time. You understand? We've been talking about the Dogons reading the stars forever. Every one of us in Africa read the stars. Let's just not get caught up with the curriculum of the linear thinkers. The Bozos read the stars. The Dendara read the stars. The Ethiopian Orthodox priests read the stars. You understand? So the heavens declaring the glory is a very beautiful thing. And the man in the moon science is extremely deep. There's more than just a man in the moon, you know. The moon has so many different pictures. For those who study the moon properly, it's almost like the mask of Lord Pakal, where you see the three figures, but there are many other figures within it. I wonder if the family is with me. But the most outstanding image that is in the moon is the image of Emperor Haile Selassie. Now, you see, when you really get it and you can see it with your eyes on the night of the full moon, go and look at it tonight. The moon is still full. And you pick it up, it stays with you forever. That is why I sometimes ask myself, brethren and sistrins that turn back. You know, they have people that turn back. Yeah, literally turn back from the faith. You understand? After seeing the man in the moon, some of them would have showed it to other people. You know, see Selassie in the moon. Look, you see the cap. Look, the badge in the cap. You understand? When I saw it for the first time, I had a brethren that it took his time and showed it to me. You understand? Some of these brethren, they would have turned back. Sometimes I wonder when they look and see the man in the moon, what comes to their mind, because it's not something you can easily forget. You understand? So, family, when you observe the different craters and the seas, you know, you have the Sea of Tranquility and the Sea of Sanity. All of these are highlighted when you look at, first of all, the picture of Haile Selassie, because there's a picture of the Honorable King Emmanuel in the moon too. But let us take our time, one at a time. Now, when you observe, again, Haile Selassie the first within the moon structure, you literally see the outline of the cap, the famous cap that we see the king wear, to the point that you even see the badge in the cap, and of course the beard lining, the outline of the king's beard. Now, of course, in this rendition, I would have literally added the peak. So let me be clear here. No cheating here. I would have added the peak. Now, unless there's something there that I've missed, but I added the peak just for clarity. But anyone that looks at the moon, especially when you see it with your eyes, and you got an understanding of, okay, this is what we're looking at, you can't deny it. There is a man in the moon. You cannot deny it. And the man that you see in the moon, the image that you get, is Emperor Haile Selassie the First. Now you may say, well, brother, that's what you see. Okay, I will leave it at that. I'm not gonna argue that at all. I ain't gonna change anything, but I'm just giving the obvious in an expression. Now, as I said, maybe some other time. In fact, we would have touched upon this already. You know, you can see Marcus Messiah Garvey in the moon. Somehow it's not as obvious as the King of Kings. You can see the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards in the moon. That is super obvious, to the point that the Honorable King Emmanuel has a certain specific shape in his face, and even that is expressed in the moon. His turban, his eyes, his nose, his white beard, all of that is seen undoubtedly. I'm talking about in the moon. So again, no, don't go anywhere. We're not done as yet. You know, as I said, this is the buck moon, officially on the 10th of July, and 4:37, according to the records, is exactly when the buck moon would have come into view. All right, beautiful. So what I just wanted to highlight again, Royal Family, as I said, we had a beautiful program a few evenings ago. We were with our good brethren, speaking on the whole aspect of the the science of the birth of Rastafari, the science of the birth of Emperor Haile Selassie I, as it relates to, you know, the astronomy and when he was born. And as I said, that was a beautiful, beautiful rendition with the Lion crew, the Lion family, of course, in the Lion's Den, Lion Pride. All right, beautiful. So we were looking now, I'm looking now at the sky chart, and we are observing the present situation. Well, not at the moment of this recording, but the moon became full just a bit after 4 p.m. on the 10th day of July. So the 10th of July, the 10th day of July, 2025, we had the official full moon in the month of July, which is considered to be a buck moon. And again, the whole buck moon concept really is symbolized by the antlers on the buck, the antlers on the deer, uh, and the way that they come out at that time of the year. Okay, fair enough. Good. So you can see Capricorn here, and you can see that the moon is not necessarily in Capricorn, and you see the moon, as I said, is not only in Sagittarius, but it would not have passed over that threshold, which would have made it into the zone of what is known as Capricorn. Not going to go too deep into the astronomy of it, but I'm just highlighting that the full moon is more associated with Sagittarius for sure than with Capricorn. But we know why that happens is because astrology, as I would have explained several times, is using a calculation that is several hundred years old, which was stuck in the past and it doesn't come alive like the living astronomy that we know today. Very beautiful. And interestingly, Neptune is twinned with Saturn at this time, which is an extremely high spiritual energy. These are spiritual planets. You know, Saturn is the planet that is directly related to the cannabis. Very good. So, Royal Family, give thanks for the moment. As I said, this was a program directly connected to our fundraiser campaign as it relates to the mission to Ethiopia. I am encouraging those who are serious about this freedom and redemption. All you have to do is just contact us and get a copy of the proposal so that you can go through it and see for yourself what the real brain thought is and heart meditation is as it relates to the mission to Ethiopia. And then remember, you can be a part of it. We have several avenues we have created for you to be a part of it. You can be there with us. You could take one of our sponsorship packages. You could also, what else you could do? There's something else you could do. You could advertise in our magazines. Now, remember, family, the link for the magazines are in the description below this video. So just go below the video and press the links, and you can see the latest edition of the magazine. Well, they're not late, but the earliest editions of the magazines, the Ambassador's Pen, and of course, the magazine Kidemi. Those of you who have different businesses, remember, we have until the 13th day of July. What day is today? Look at the calendar and see the day. You have until the 13th day. I could give you till the 14th or even the 15th, depending on when you see the video. But you have until the 13th day of July. That is when our 50%, we have a 50% campaign that will be coming to an end specifically on the 13th day of July for sure. And that is not too long from now. So that means you can get an ad within the Ambassador's Pen. You get an ad within Kidemi for 50% of the value until that day. But listen, after the day, you can still advertise, but the 50% will be off. And all of this, my family, will be assisting the mission to Ethiopia. And that is why it's key that you understand why we are doing it. And then, of course, you can simply donate. That's it. So if you got 5 million to donate, you don't need no, you don't need no ambassador, nothing, no ship, no. We don't need to be in any magazine. I have a 5 million. I'm going to send it. Fair enough. If you have $50 and you're going, fair enough. It's just up to you. But keep in mind, we have something that values the 5 million, and we have something that value the 50, and we can definitely, because we're service-oriented people. Believe me, we just taking is not in my blood, obviously. That's why we have so many things to offer. We have classes, we have courses, we have lectures, we have webinars, we have books, we have advertisement spots, So to me, an individual that has a following of people that are serious and like-minded, there's always something for you, the listeners, to stretch forth your hands and partake and add to the mission. Because I'm always selling something. Some of you always say that. He's always selling because I have a lot to sell. What are you selling? Don't tell me you ain't selling nothing. Nah, man, you have to have something to sell. You should be happy. You should be proud of your brother, saying, this brother here is always creating something. You never buy nothing from him, Marjorie? No, man, come on. Let's get the bank account and buy something from Priest Isaac. He's always talking, always teaching, always doing essay competitions, always bringing people to hike and trying to save a hill that the government is destroying and nobody taking him on. Think about that, royal family. This is serious because we can't just be jumping about and Burkina Faso and this and that. When the captain called for you to come on the battlefield, I wonder how many of you gonna really jump and go. Yeah. Give thanks. Looking forward to hear from you. Life given the keeper of life. Hey, remember, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. And the man in the moon is Emperor Haile Selassie the First. You better believe it. Royal family, give thanks. Remember, it takes some real eyes to realize the real lies that are amongst us. Yes. King Selassie, Jah Rastafari. Attention, everyone. The Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge is inviting you to join us in September for the African Union CARICOM Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Sign up for the 3-day package and be a part of the AU CARICOM Summit, plus take in all of the sights of Addis Ababa, the new flower. Or you can opt for our 9-day cultural national tour, and that will engulf sites like Lalibela, Aksum, the Simeon Mountains, and much more. Transportation, accommodation, and your meals all included. So contact us now and reserve your spot. Email us priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com or visit our website priestisaacinstitute.com. Ethiopia. See you there. Attention, everyone. The Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge is inviting you to join us in September for the African Union CARICOM Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Sign up for the 3-day package and be a part of the AU CARICOM Summit, plus take in all of the sights of Addis Ababa, the new flower. Or you can opt for our 9-day cultural national tour, and that will engulf sites like Lalibela, Aksum, the Simeon Mountains, and much more. Transportation, accommodation, and your meals all included. So contact us now and reserve your spot. Email us priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com or visit our website priestisaacinstitute.com. Ethiopia. See you there.